Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. When you think of our solar system, you probably picture the Sun and 8 planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. But what if I told you that our cosmic neighborhood used to have more members? It's true. Today we're diving into the fascinating story of 4 celestial bodies that were once called planets, but were later, well, let's say, demoted. What were they, and what happened to them? Let's start our journey back in the 19th century. In 1801, an Italian astronomer named Giuseppe Piazzi was stargazing when he discovered something new orbiting between Mars and Jupiter. He named it Ceres. For nearly 50 years, Ceres was officially considered the 8th planet in our solar system. School children learned its name alongside Mars and Jupiter. But then, something unexpected happened. Astronomers started finding more and more objects in that same region. In 1802, Pallas was discovered. Then came Juno in 1804 and Vesta in 1807. Suddenly, the space between Mars and Jupiter was getting crowded. Were all of these new discoveries planets? For a while, they were. Textbooks listed Ceres, Pallas, Juno, and Vesta right alongside the others, bringing the total number of planets up to 11. Imagine having to memorize all those names for a science test. This created a problem for astronomers. If they kept finding more, where would it end? The term asteroid, meaning star-like, was proposed by William Herschel to describe these smaller bodies, but it didn't catch on immediately. It took until the 1850s for the scientific community to reach a consensus. They realized that Ceres, Pallas, Juno, and Vesta were different. They were much smaller than the other planets and were part of a whole collection of similar objects. So they were reclassified. They became the first members of what we now know as the asteroid belt. It wasn't that they were deleted, but rather that our understanding of the solar system evolved. We needed a better way to categorize what we were seeing. Ceres, Pallas, Juno, and Vesta were pioneers, helping us define what it truly means to be a planet and leading to the creation of a brand new category: asteroids. But the story doesn't end there. Ceres, the first one discovered and the largest object in the asteroid belt, got another promotion in 2006. It was reclassified again, this time as a dwarf planet, a title it shares with another famous X-planet we'll get to soon. NASA's Dawn mission even visited Ceres and Vesta, giving us incredible close-up images of these former planets. We learned that Ceres has bright salt deposits and might even have a subsurface ocean. Vesta, on the other hand, looks more like a battered potato, with giant impact craters that tell a story of a violent past. So that covers the first 3 lost planets: Pallas, Juno, and Vesta, which are now recognized as large asteroids, and Ceres, which holds the special status of a dwarf planet. But there's one more, perhaps the most famous demoted planet of all. I'm talking about Pluto. For over 70 years, from its discovery in 1930 until 2006, Pluto was our 9th planet. It was the small, icy world at the edge of the solar system, a mysterious and distant sibling to Earth. We grew up with solar system models that included Pluto. It was part of our culture. So what changed? Similar to the situation with the asteroid belt, technology got better. In the 1990s and early 2000s, astronomers started discovering other large, icy objects in the same region as Pluto. This area is called the Kuiper Belt. They found objects like Eris, which is actually more massive than Pluto. This discovery sparked a huge debate. If Pluto is a planet, does that mean Eris is a planet too? What about all the other large objects we were bound to find out there? The International Astronomical Union, or IAU, the organization responsible for naming celestial objects, had to make a decision. In 2006, they met and established a new official definition for a planet. According to the IAU, a celestial body must meet 3 criteria to be called a planet. First, it must orbit the Sun. Pluto does that, so check. Second, it must have enough gravity to pull itself into a nearly round shape. Pluto is round, so check. But the third criterion is where Pluto ran into trouble. A planet must have cleared the neighborhood around its orbit. This means it has to be the gravitationally dominant object in its path, either flinging other objects away or absorbing them. Pluto doesn't do this. It shares its orbital neighborhood with many other large objects in the Kuiper belt. Because it failed to meet this third rule, Pluto was reclassified as a dwarf planet, joining Ceres in this new category. The decision was, and still is, very controversial. Many people were sad to see Pluto lose its status. The phrase, "My very excellent mother just served us 9 pizzas," to remember the planets no longer worked. Some scientists still argue that the definition is flawed and that Pluto should be reinstated. They point out that even planets like Jupiter and Earth haven't perfectly cleared their orbits of all asteroids. The debate continues, which is what makes science so exciting. It's always evolving. Regardless of its title, Pluto is an incredibly fascinating world. In 2015, NASA's New Horizons spacecraft flew past Pluto, giving us our first ever close-up look. The images were breathtaking. We saw towering mountains of water ice, vast plains of frozen nitrogen, and even hints of a possible subsurface ocean. Pluto has a thin, hazy atmosphere and 5 moons of its own. Its largest moon, Charon, is so big in comparison that some scientists consider them a binary system, 2 objects orbiting each other. Planet or dwarf planet Pluto proved to be far more dynamic and complex than anyone ever imagined. So, there you have it. The stories of Ceres, Pallas, Juno, Vesta, and Pluto. They weren't deleted or destroyed. They're all still out there, orbiting the sun just as they have for billions of years. What changed was our understanding. Science isn't about memorizing a fixed set of facts. It's a process of discovery, of refining our definitions as we gather more information. These former planets are perfect examples of that process in action. They forced us to look at our solar system with new eyes and ask a fundamental question: what makes a planet a planet? From the crowded asteroid belt to the icy depths of the Kuiper belt, these stories show us that our cosmic neighborhood is far more diverse and interesting than we once thought. What do you think? Should Pluto be a planet again? Do you think the IAU's definition is fair? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. It's a fun debate to have. Thanks so much for watching and exploring the history of our solar system with me today. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more adventures into the cosmos. Until next time, keep looking up.